and gentlemen, welcome to the Kingdom of Kodiak. I'm Kodiak. With me today, Sir Xion. Xion, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, can't complain. Haven't seen you in a couple weeks because we're not playing right at the moment, but you're
Yep.
here now, and you got a
Yeah.
mustache, and that's good. That's good. Good. All right. Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's get to the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. Xion, we're going to start with a question that's not a bare necessity. Um, I know, I know. This is the first time in 90 episodes that we're going to do this
Ooh.
because Stillhat wants to know, what did I have to offer you for you to come on the show?
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, you already know. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah,
I think I'm getting what was it, $5,000 cash?
yeah.
Um,
Most of the profits of KOK Lifetime. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I think we agreed on three out of the five other belts,
Mm.
and a head position on the shadow government.
Oh,
That was the deal breaker for
you're
me.
looking to
Yeah,
be ahead. Oh man. Well, let me talk to my people, the other shadow government, and
yeah,
we'll see how that goes. But
yeah,
still, there you go. It's what it took.
yeah.
Can't just ask people. Anyways, now let's get to the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. Still, I would like to know, how long have you been playing Amp Guard?
Since 2003, I believe.
Okay, so 18 years.
2003. Yeah.
All right, all right. Sir Francis had a carry-on question to that one. He'd like to know, when did you get so tall?
I think maybe senior year of high school. It was 2009, I think.
Okay, so six.
Yeah.
It was 6 years into. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are, are we old?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm older
Pretty
than you,
bad.
but I think we. Okay, awesome. Okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna move on. Still, I would also like to know, where did your persona come from?
Uh, the name or the back
Oh, but
story?
oh, we want both.
Well, the name came from, a lot of people think it's from Kingdom Hearts, but it's actually not from Kingdom Hearts. It's from a
Hmm.
game called Bloody Roar, which was a fighting game that I played. Um, and my persona, I didn't have a persona for the longest time, but I was talking with Isaac and or Anatole and Finnegan, and they were, we were just messing around, and I believe we decided on me being, as a kid, a little kid. It was funny if my persona was like, the old kind of kung fu movie grandmaster guys like that. So we agreed on that, and I was like, that's actually pretty funny. So then the next park day that week, I came out and I had cut up uh like a beard made out of white felt, and I was wearing it around. And so I mean, it's never been touched on after that. That was kind of the only thing, but that's where it came from.
All right, cool. Your white felt reminds me of my first couple of weeks. I took a sleeve of a black shirt and cut it so it looked like I had dreadlocks.
Hey, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was good enough to where Deverick actually thought they were dreadlocks. So when I like shaved my head, or when I got a haircut and I stopped wearing it, he's like, "All of your dread." I'm like, "They were fake." But anyways, not about me.
Counting crows type situation
Yeah,
there.
yeah. And well, sometimes you got to count a crow, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, it. So, what award or achievement would you say you're most proud of receiving, excluding the three belts that we're going to have to get you?
Yeah, we'll put that on the back burner for now. We'll touch on it later. But honestly, I think I got my Master Griffin. I think that was the coolest, for me at least, because that's one that I had always wanted. There was this guy who played, he was in Wheel for a bit, Wild Hyacinth, and he always had a lot of Griffins. And I was like, man, that's a super cool award. I hope I want to, like, also do what he's doing and go out of my way to, kind of of course, take shots and stuff, but
Mhm.
everybody's supposed to take their shots. I want to like be recognized for like being super clean, and because that's always what he had done. So yeah, I'd say Master Griffin.
Yeah. And as far as clean goes, there are definitely times where I look at you and I'm like, there is no way that landed. Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah. And we'll talk about it later with your opportunity to talk about rules and whatnot. But Griffin, that should be a letter award again, right?
I think so. Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't you mean as far as like something to get knighthoods, or are you talking
Yeah.
about just after 10 continuing?
Well,
Will
that's
both?
so Dom's idea there, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's cool. But also, it, we want honorable fighters in the game. We should award it, and we
Hmm.
should make sure that if we're considering knighthood to be our echelon of awards, it should those two should match up somewhere. I would think, but
Yeah.
okay, all right. Morgan and Sarai would like to know what's your favorite battle game?
I really like node control battle games where there's multiple um the only bad thing about these games is that you need like 2 or 3 reads, right?
Mhm.
But you need because they have to, take account on all the nodes that you have to control. But those are always like super fast paced, and they're um, quick life or death counts, and you're always having to do something. You can't just go and chill on
Yeah.
whatever objective there is for the games. If there's one zone that you're holding down, but everybody else is fighting on the other nodes, like you gotta go and help out your squad in that way. And I feel like the fast pacedness of it, every time after we play one of those battle games, it's always like, all right, give me a couple minutes. There's never a time afterward. Like if you have enough energy after one of those battle games, you probably weren't bringing your A game. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
all right. That's a sound standard to have. If you play a node game and you're not tired after the node game, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So when you get the chance to play those games or any other games, what's your favorite class to play?
I was rolling monk for the longest time, but now I've been doing assassin because I really like throwing stuff,
Yeah.
and I feel like the monk is kind of the default. I get to ignore a lot of the abilities and rules and stuff, which was easy because coming from I think when I started, we were still on the tail end of V6. So going through and learning not all of it, but playing through V7, learning stuff from there. And then when it switched over to V8, I was like, all right, I don't let me play the class that I can just like, no, that doesn't affect me the most. But since then, I've learned a bit, and I really like assassin, how the build is. I like throwing stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's been a lot of fun to watch you play because you I don't know if you are getting hyped or if it just looks like you're getting hyped because you're like, I'm gonna throw all these things at it and it's gonna be
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. And Deverick would like to know what's your favorite weapon set?
Sorting board.
Sorry,
Come on, an easy peasy.
oof. Ugh, it's the worst. Well, you're so good at it, but that's besides. Okay, all right, that's fine. I'm not gonna get into it. We all know where Kodiak stands on sword and board. It's the bane of existence. But those were the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. Let's get to the 3 questions KOK viewers have been asking since episode 1. Modified question, of course, because Sir Glennoth has a soda maker. Calthrax sent me a soda maker. I gave it to Sir Alucard. Sir Alucard gave it to Sir Glennoth. Does Sir Glennoth need? I'm sorry. Put the word toaster where soda maker was on that entire statement.
Oh,
We
so
got
he has a toaster.
it's a
He has a
toaster.
toaster. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm
Should
glad
he?
that saga is over.
Yeah, it's a.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, it was
Relief.
dramatic there for a second, right? Because like
It
this whole
was.
time I've been telling people there was a toaster. Like Glenolf is still in. No. He deserve a soda maker though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna have to say yeah. He's
Okay.
getting a lot of free stuff though.
He,
Where do we draw the line? You know?
well, I think what we need to do is we need to talk to Glenolf and be like, hey, what are you going to give away now? What are you going to pay back with? You
Mhm.
know, are you going to
Yeah.
pay? Are you going to pay back with soda bread? Because if that's the case, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to argue. But yeah, we're gonna have to get Glenolf involved again. He's disappeared in the Aether though. So
Yeah.
if you can get a hold of him, still, I would like to know who is the best bear.
Yogi.
Yogi. Well, Yogi's not any of the correct answers, so no points given out today. But Freya has added an extension to that question. Why are bears so overrated?
Hmm. That's a loaded question.
I think it
Depends
is.
on. Yeah. I don't know if they are.
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah. They're
Uh,
they're as far as the animal kingdom goes, they're at least A tier, if not S tier
mhm,
build,
mhm, mhm,
you know.
mhm. Yeah.
So
I
yeah, I don't know. Maybe underrated actually.
underrated. Ooh, Freya, you're gonna have to talk about this because underrated bears is where we're actually at.
Mhm.
All right, last question number 3. What's your thoughts on Dragon Spine getting a mobile pool and or jacuzzi?
Uh I'm not for
Not
it.
for it. Okay, all right.
I'm not
Let's.
for it.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. You're gonna explain why, right? You're not just gonna say
I
no and walk
mean,
away.
just the what am I looking for? When will it be used? Is it a pre-park situation? Because if it's a post-park situation, absolutely not. Under no circumstances
Right.
will I be supportive or involved in that
Wow.
thing.
Wow.
That's just a bubbling cauldron of a hard day's work, and that's not a good thing. A pre-park soak,
No.
throw some Epsom salts in there, get the thing going. Maybe I might be okay with that, but I
So
mean, just out of respect, I would not even dip my toe in that after park day. Out of respect for everybody involved.
yeah,
No,
that's
thank you.
fair. That's fair. You have some backers in the chat yelling as like human soup. No thanks.
Hmm.
Um, but because it's part of the question, I do have to ask you to put on your hypothetical hat where you're all for it.
Okay.
How would you fund it?
I would make probably Ben pay for it
Make Ben pay for it. Yeah.
to Randall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I
See,
don't see any other way.
so our local shire, Redbeard, our sheriff, Redbeard had pointed out on his episode that doing a Men of Amtgard calendar.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have to. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm
That's a
just saying,
hard sell.
I mean, Sane with a bat over his shoulder like this,
Yeah.
just kind of staring with the sunglasses tipped down a little bit. Just think about it. Just,
I like
yeah.
the themed month thing too,
Yeah.
Sword looking like a candy cane for December.
Yeah, he would
Santa
love
hat.
it.
It could
He
work.
would
Yeah.
love it. Okay. All right. So this is the 3 questions KOQ viewers have been asking since episode 1. We've been off for 2 weeks, but folks, this is episode 90. We've been doing it. So let's get to your actual questions. We're going to start with a still het question that's become the traditional starter. Xion, what is your weirdest flex?
I mean, probably being a warlord, right? That's very specific, and doesn't really nobody's going to register what that is unless they're in this niche group anyway, so you
Fair.
can't
It's
really
fair.
just say that. Anybody else that hears it is going to just oh, okay, so that what does that mean? Oh,
Good.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, I was going to say that's anything that has to do with the Amtgard stuff, trying to give the mundane people an insight to it would be weird. But I'm still waiting for one of my guests to just come on and flex and be like, this is my weirdest one. But no, okay, we're fine. All right, this question stays on KOK because it has a bear pun in it, and I play to the crowd. So Are you a torch bearer of any particular skills?
I mean, I don't think so. I'm good at a bunch of actually I'm okay at a bunch of nerdy stuff, but I wouldn't say I'm a torchbearer
No?
by any
Okay.
means. Yeah.
All right. You maybe a saddleback you carry, but not a torch necessarily.
Yeah, it's too much pressure.
Okay. All right. Okay. Um, Lightning and Beatrix would like to know what's your favorite garb that you own?
Oh, I mean, it's got to be there's oh man, I think it's a two-way tie. It's got
Oh,
to be a two-way tie. I'm copping out. It's going to be the original wheel tunic, green and white that uh Firen had made. No, yeah, Firen had made way back in the day. I have that, and then also it's tied with the Golden City All Stars jersey, which is probably what will be on top of the coffin when I am eventually buried. When I die, that will be the flag, if you will,
okay.
right on top, coming down with me, along with probably my Xbox. Just
I'm hoping you got enough time in you still where you'll have a couple of generations of Xbox before,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, good, good. Uh, Kenjin and Stillhead would like to know what's the coolest garb you've ever seen?
Oh, um, dang it. Another two come to mind. Peter the Quick had a super sweet tunic that I asked. I pretty much, I wouldn't say commission because Amy did it for free, but I bought the materials to make for Amy to make me a tunic, Azrael, and I based a lot of the layout on Peter the Quick tunic because it looks so rad. Um, so that stands out that reason. But the sweetest tunic I've ever seen was probably this one that M-Hog has, Michael Hammer of God, and he has just it's like so intricate. It has like I want to say all the kingdom symbols on the bottom trim of it, and it just looks ridiculously cool. That one I was like, oh, I wouldn't even wear. That's a
No,
frameable
yeah, that's a
tunic,
free. You put it at that on the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
hmm You're not the first one to mention M-Hog's
Really?
Kingdom Tunic. No, so yeah,
Yeah,
I totally get it.
too sweet.
Totally get it. All right. Let's talk about some stuff outside of your realm of excellence, your Knight of the Sword. Um, Stop it. Stop it. Um, what's your favorite crafting skill?
That I possess or that I respect the most? What is
What would make you most comfortable to answer the question, Xion?
I mean, I'm not that good at crafting, so there's a lot more. Um, as far as Amtgard specific skills, geez, I don't even know. Because there's a lot of things that you could enter into, um, you know, Dragon Masters and Qualls and things like that that also have um, real life, like you could bring in your real life skills and do that. As far like drawing, bardic, any of the arts, as long as you make like a medieval version of your art or do a medieval style bardic, that it directly transfers over to your
Mhm.
from your real life skills. But as far as specific Amtgard like skills like that, I don't know.
Well,
Shield covers are
yeah.
one of the coolest things that you can do, especially like I guess if you were doing like a really well made plastidip shield cover, you could also relate that to like really you could it probably stems from being really good at say doing like cosplay stuff, you know, and using that kind of style to replicate like how an armored like character would look and stuff like
Sure.
that.
Mhm.
So that has been a really cool like, I wouldn't want to say development, but that when they introduced Placidip shield covers, that was like the coolest thing to look at right off the bat, because for the longest time it was always just, you know, a disc with your sewn
Yeah, sure.
design, and then having like the 3D effect of like the inlays and the stuff like that. That was like, I wish I could do stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because that was super cool to look at.
So Plassy Dip. Okay. Keegan is in the chat and would like to point out that you make fantastic swords. So yeah, like, you know,
that's pretty specific to this game for sure.
It's may have to talk to you about getting some more if we can, because fighting you and Xander is making my swords go quicker than I thought they would. So
it happens, yeah.
Yeah. So related to this screen that you can see, Xion, there's a picture of Mew right here.
Mm-hmm.
And Stillhet would like to know, why is Mew the best painting on my wall? So this is my Master Crown Scroll right here.
Oh, okay.
And this is the Mew painting that I made on a Pokemon paint day with Stillhet and Beatrix at Stillhet's house. Why is the Mew the best one on the board?
Well, is that watercolor? Is that what I'm seeing?
No, my friend. What I did though is I made them watercolors by adding the paint to water and then doing fine like brushing and then dry brushing it over the top of it.
Well, I mean, I think for the mixed media, if you will, that's probably what puts it over the top there.
Okay. I mean, that's Gallifreyan on the Master Scroll, so Stillhet went out of her way for Gallifreyan. I can't argue with that. Whew. It's really good. I really like that. I look at that all the time.
Yeah, anyways, very cool.
Yeah. Friar Carlos would like to know, can you describe your process for making weapons?
Yeah, for sure. So it's usually golf club, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll strip it, cut it to, if I'm making a 36-inch sword, which is usually what I'll do, I'll measure it out, chop it down at, I think 33.5 inches, right? Mm-hmm. And put foamies, the little, I don't know how else to call them, but foamies, the craft foam, I think is what. Yeah. So I'll put one of those at the very base, torque wrap it, and then I'll put the pommel on, which is like maybe, where is that? Maybe almost an inch of noodle, right at the tip of it or at the bottom end of it, and that's the start of the pommel. And then I'll take that down, put a cap, and then after that, I will. Once that's all situated, I'll put another thing of craft foam right above the pommel, torque wrap that, and then I'll take, I think it's about like, it's hard to describe, but it's like if you cut a piece of the noodle in half and then slice it right along where that inset of the hole is. So it's like bare minimum, it's kind of flat, but it has like one of those things at the end of it. Then I'll hollow that out and take the outer piece, chop it down so it's kind of smoother, put that at the tip so it's 35 inch, or stick it up so it's about 35 inches. And the piece is like maybe 4 inches, something like that. Torque wrap that down, stick the blade on there, measure it, or measure how much extra stuff I can afford to kind of cut the taper at the base of the blade. Put one strip over because usually you have like a seal where it has that little slit.
Yep.
So I'll put that, and I'll put one vertical all the way up on that, and I'll use that initial piece to do the tip. So I'll use that, put the tip on it, and then I'll finish off the tip with like, so it's fully covered with vertical strips, torque wrap it all the way down. And then once I get down to where the handle is, I'll use that last bit of this. It's the same piece of tape because I'll spiral wrap it, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll spiral wrap it all the way down. And once it gets down to where the blade meets the handle, I'll continue that same piece and just really torque it where it's on the handle. So it gets that little extra firmness. So it's got a little bit of the squish, but not like you have to grip it, go out of your way to grip it in order to like really throw some oomph into it. So I think that's like the simplified, really fast speaking way of how I usually make my stuff.
For sure. Well, yeah. I think why it comes up is because against other swords that are popular for amp guarders to buy, yours are very light, even against like the commercial amp guard sword. So people are trying to find your secrets so they can.
I think the reason for that is when you ship swords like nationwide with spiral wrap tape, depending on the elevation, it totally messes with how it like sucks in or expands, and it's kind of it's not as consistent as the I don't want to say it, the big name sword makers, where they just would glue most of the time. They adheve their usually custom made foam to these cores, and that holds up like significantly better when you're shipping it nationwide, depending on the elevation, So I think as long as I kind of stick to this region, I don't have to worry about any of that stuff, and they will turn out a little lighter than normal than the other people, just because you can get away with doing that technique. Whereas if you're doing what I just described, it's hard to be consistent that way. You know what I mean?
Yep, makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so another question that's survived KOK's cuts on questions because it has a bear pun in it. I know, but this is my show. What would you consider to be the bare necessity of amp guard that new players should focus on?
Oh, that's all aspects.
Yeah.
I would say there's a huge reliance on a certain group of core members that usually take turns doing all the things that need to be done, whether it's all the monarchy, all the event running, if your group does that and stuff like that. And getting a foot in the door as a new player in that aspect really kind of opens up a whole new viewpoint as far as like, wow, this is really what it takes these things just don't happen because it's like been happening for years. It has been happening for years because these people take the time out of their lives to get stuff done. You know what I mean? So if we could, that's why I like heir apparent for that kind of reason. Sure. Yeah. They have the young-ish person that's interested in that sort of thing to really like get another viewpoint on like, wow, this is really what it takes to run all this stuff. Like, you guys are actually doing this consistently all the time. Like, that's impressive, So I feel like it's more so than fighting or crafting or anything like that. Like, that is what I would recommend as a bare necessity for new players, for sure, to get that viewpoint of this is what it takes to run amped guard at a local level.
Yeah, I mean, we struggle, the game struggles as a whole, where people that aren't in office or don't take office are critical of people who are in office or running events and whatnot. and may have never seen the effort, that goes into something like,
Yeah.
running a GOTC or I mean, you helped me run the last Kronkwall combat,
Yeah.
the tournament, like
Mhm.
those things just, you know, it's good for people to be aware of the work that goes in so that when it's people are stepping up constantly to do it, we're like, oh yeah, that's service. That's what that looks like. We should probably be
Yeah.
awarding that. Yeah, for sure. Still would like to know, Xion, if you could explain your personal heraldry.
I think for the longest time it was the bomb from Mario Bros. But when I got my warlord, I took the Captain Falcon because it's a falcon, but it's a yellow phoenix looking thing on a red background. And I was like, that's like super on the nose, perfect translation over. So I think more than anything, that would be my personal heraldry. I know I sent you the wheel symbol because that's more, me. I've been rocking that for the longest time. It's on most of my garb, whereas the falcon is just on my warlord favor. But yeah, as far as stuff that I've chosen for myself, I think it'll be the Captain Falcon symbol.
I like it. I was expecting that this was going to start with like the wheel was a personal thing and then became a group thing, but the Captain Falcon story, that's okay. All right, that's where it's at. All right, this question's been on here for a while, Xion, and it has somehow continued to find a way to haunt me. Back shields for version 9. Kato needs to know.
Like strapped up?
Yep.
No hand?
No hand.
I don't have any qualms with it. Depending on how huge, actually. Let me put a quick little asterisk on that.
Baby punch only.
Oh yeah, punch only. But if it goes past your back and you look like some kind of a Bowser with like a big old turtle shell on your back and it's stopping, like hip and shoulder shots, that might be a little problematic.
Okay.
But as far as just like a 18 incher strapped up back there, that'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
I can't foresee any salty problems with that setup at all.
I mean, I'll find a salty problem for it, but I feel like that's probably the most insightful yes vote we've gotten so far, where it's like, well, if it's not impeding other, primary shots thrown, it's just protecting the back, then okay. All right. Well, Kato, your question lives on another week. Congratulations. You keep doing it. Kato gets the second question because of that. To flurb or not to flurb?
To flurb, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. If I mean, real early on, of course, I was a youngster, but I was probably the biggest flurb on the planet. But just, I wasn't that confident in that new group of people. But with all my friends that had started with me, yeah, it was pretty bad. I got a lot of pictures of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't opt in on the Ninja Xion one. I should have.
Yeah.
If we get any requests for it, I might have to put that up. But no, flurbing's super fun. Our park, because now we share a park, which is an interesting trade-off that we'll talk about down the road in the questions, that you're playing at Dragonspine Lost Crucis again. But we don't have a lot of flurbiness. So like when I go out there with my unicorn horn and my demon tail, and I'm like just doing it for me, and it's like, well, that's the flurb of today. Is like, I put a unicorn horn on. I did it. Yeah. Whatever. Anyways, Zana would like to know, are there any rain themes that you would like to see?
Oh, rain themes. Um, Geez Louise. I feel like we've touched on a lot of the swords and sorcery stuff.
Hmm.
Oh, Magic the Gathering would be pretty rad,
Yeah.
to be
Okay.
honest.
All
Yeah.
right.
Depending on which plane we would go to, which little
So
realm, I feel like that would be very cool. Or if every month a different one. I don't know.
mm,
I don't
mm.
know. Sounds pretty cool.
You go to Ravnica and we could do guilds.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Oh,
get two
I mean, that's
colors.
yeah,
Don't make
exactly.
me have to go run for king again, man. Like I'm planning on it, by the way, down the road. Whatever. But yeah, Magic MTG would be great, and we have
That would
MTG
be very
questions later
cool.
too. So, uh,
Okay.
we have a shout out from one of your fighting company brothers, Anatole. Would like to know if you could tell us about your old man kung fu costume.
I mean, kind of already touched on it. That
Yeah.
felt beard. I want to say that I also had, not me, but my family had a like an old Santa suit, and I wore the wig with a beanie or something. So it
Mhm.
was white with the white. Um, yeah, I think that was pretty much the extent of it. I wasn't willing or capable of, I mean, very willing, but I was not capable of crafting a specific garb to go with it. I had just had to rock whatever I had at the time. But I think that was pretty much it. Felt beard. I think I had a Santa wig, all white. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so if there's any crafters out there looking for a tunic to make for Xion, old man kung fu tunic for the win. Uh, please. I would love to see it. Anyways, still would like to know. It's pertinent right now because our kingdom's going through a bunch of this stuff. What's your thoughts on the kingdom fundraisers? So on how to do them, when to do them.
I
What's your
mean,
thoughts?
I'm the last person to ask about that stuff, but I mean, all the stuff that we have been doing seems the classic cheater battle games. I like
Mhm.
the buy-in for lives tournament. I like the online store.
Mhm.
Um, I can't. I don't have like an idea that would be like, yeah, I know we've done all this, but you should really. Like, I got nothing. You got
That's fine.
everybody's like touched a lot of the bases, and I
Yeah.
feel like um, everybody just needs to go on that store and grab some sweet Dragon Spine shirts, and
I tell you
that's
what,
probably the easiest way to do it.
I can't wait. I just got my email today that my order of the Ash duffel bag is shipping. Yeah, that's gonna be the Flurby bag that I put my horn in. It's gonna be so,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
All
it's gonna be
right.
so good, so good. But yeah, we do have the shop right now, and there's a fundraising group in Dragonspine right now that is also working on a couple of things that they've had to ask me about because I've got stuff up for grabs. So, but okay. Morgan would like to know what's your favorite Amp event?
I mean, I'll always have a soft spot for GOTC for sure. That was like, I think the first big event that I had ever gone to, of course, because it's local and I try to go every year. Um, Keep is also super awesome. I just wish it wasn't because we usually drive. That
Hmm.
is such a long drive.
For sure.
Um, but the site's awesome. I love going there as well. Um, SKBC also very cool. But the fact that I can only make a couple, you know, I think I've only made a couple in the last like 5 to 10 years, just because sometimes they're in spots that it's tough to get out there.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, those are all very cool events. I like the idea of an SKBC. I don't like doing SKBC, if you
For
know,
sure.
you know what I
Okay.
mean.
Yeah.
It's very. I'm not. It's tough for me personally to do that. It takes a lot of. Cause I'm a little bit of a introvert type dude, and it takes a lot to do that. To have that much energy for that sort of thing, if that
Yeah,
makes,
for sure.
without
Yeah.
going into too many detail. Yeah, it's tough for me.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. Well, you named a couple. Kenjin's going to ask you to tell us what your perfect AmpGuard event would look like.
Indoors. No.
Nice. Well
Actually,
played. Well
an
played.
indoor fighting space is also good in theory, but that gets loud.
Mhm.
There is a lot of bopping. We tried to do, or we had to last minute from one of the or SKBCs change to an indoor spot because it was just raining super hard, and it was real hard to teach any classes in there because
Mhm.
certain classes were just doing drills, so it was like
Yeah.
and resonating throughout the whole thing, and it was so ideally, yeah, indoors is good, but we've done that before, and it's actually pretty tough. um Showers for sure.
Mhm. Mhm.
There was
Mhm.
a actually there was an SKBC where it was on a military base, and that just had all the amenities available, possible, really, that you would want, as well as outdoors cabin, or yeah, cabins, upgraded rooms. There was a bar on site. Like, they covered all the bases, you know what I mean. So I think, as far as that goes, that would actually be like the blueprint to have the
Okay.
perfect event.
Okay.
Showers, cabins, or not even cabins, like barracks. That's what they're called. Freaking
Barracks. Yeah.
barracks.
Barracks. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
And indoor
that's
and
ideal.
possibly indoor fighting.
Oh yeah. There
Okay.
was there was rooms, some places where you could do it. Not a huge big old area where
No,
you
the
can,
day
like,
rooms. Yeah.
yeah, where you're running a ditch and you have to, like, squeeze up against a wall and only throw shit, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. That's kind of rough, but it's one-on-ones. King of the, or gravity thrown, my bad. Do some gravity thrown in there. Yeah.
Cool. 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 All right. Still would like to know. Again, we've already mentioned this in this chat. You helped me run the tournaments for the last Crown Quals, and one of those things that we did there was the non-men cis men's tournament.
Hmm.
And what was your thoughts on that being officially recognized from the kingdom?
I dig it. I
Yeah.
think it's been a long time coming, for sure. And yeah, I have no qualms with it. As far as it counting for um my kingdom level ladder awards, I got
Hmm.
no problems with that either.
Yeah, for sure. You were actually wasn't your name one of the names on the amendment that we put forth?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. So for anyone who's looking for like the beginning of that whole process, at least getting it put into play, there you go. There's one of the names. Uh, big time. Frey would like to know what is one of the best experiences you've ever had in AmpGuard?
I mean, I've been playing, like we said earlier, since I've been playing it for
I
more
think
than
we said
half of
18
how
years.
long
Yeah.
I've been alive. Yeah,
Yeah.
5 years more than half my life. So there's a lot of stuff that happened
Hmm.
in between
Hmm.
that. I think, um, I don't know, seeing my friends, Kyle and Isaac, or Ilmarin and Anatole, get knighted at Maze was really cool,
Hmm.
because we were just a bunch of, like, teenage jabronis, and that just fought each other a whole bunch till we got pretty all right at it. And then seeing them get recognized for that, seeing them qualify for it, and then seeing them get recognized for that was very cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's what sticks out the most. Because, you know, like I said, we've been playing for a long time. I've seen a lot of, you know, people that I consider my family in this game get belts and get recognized for stuff. And that's all very cool. But the first instance of it was those two fools. And yeah, that sticks out for sure.
Cool. That's awesome. And not even like it is your moment in the sense that they're your friends, but like, you know, your most memorable moment in Amtgard is two other people getting recognized for awesomeness. That speaks to who you are too. Yes, it does. Shut up. Sancho would like to know, what do you want to accomplish in the next few years of your Amtgard career?
Not sure about accomplish. I would like to run for some kind of monarchy position in the next couple years while I have a decent amount of free time, because where we're talking earlier, it takes a good chunk of that. You know, if you want to do a decent job, it takes a chunk of your personal time out to do that. And I think while I still have a good amount of that, I'd like to, you know, do a good job in either PM champion or monarchy, you know, king. So I think that's like a goal that I've been talking about for a while is doing that. That's other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. I was trying to get 30 tournament wins before I turned 30, and then freaking I was getting there. I could have, just by doing the math, if I did these last couple years, I could have done it, but then everything shut down for a long time. And then I turned 30 and I just like, all right, well, that's whatever.
40 by 40 is not out of the question.
Yeah, I was also because my goal was to do that and then just like, all right, I'm just gonna reeve kingdom tournaments. But now I don't know what to do. I'm in limbo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm 30, but I'm not at 30. I don't know if I should go to 30 and then do the reeving or just start reeving now. Like I'm in a weird spot right now as far as tournaments go.
Yeah. You poor thing to be, you know, in your 20 something wins in the kingdom. You poor thing. We feel bad for it. But let me know when you do Kingdom Office, because I will do my damnedest to make sure that I'm running in the team somewhere, because
sweet. Yeah,
you would be a lot of fun. Yeah, for sure. So Smiley would like to know, what's the greatest lesson that you've learned now that you wish you would have learned then?
Not to put so much clout in the warlord title, probably. You know, that was like kind of a sign of the times. And I don't know. It's kind of weird now because it's not the end all be all, and it shouldn't have been either. But a lot of people put it there, and I was a younger dude. I kind of bought into that, and so there would be a lot of times where people would get their warlord, and they would just get completely like, you know, because of it, and then everybody else would be like, yeah, but they're not really one of those things. And I just wish I didn't care so much about that and put so much emphasis on that being like, you know, beating the game type of a thing, as a lot of people, myself included, did back in the day. It's just something that you get if you do a certain amount of things in a certain time frame, you know. That's pretty much it.
Yes, for sure. I understand. I missed so we're coming in on my 4-year anniversary in Amcard. So I missed a huge chunk of all of that stuff. Like
Yeah,
like you and Anatole had already been gone. You were in Albuquerque or Santa Fe or what have you, and like Dragon's Spine Las Cruces has gotten smaller. So I missed a whole bunch of like all of those unique things that everyone was like, "Well, be careful of this drama and that drama." It's like, oh, and it just it's interesting to hear the stories from players that I play with now who've come back to be like, haha, be careful of the green dragon for she is envious. And
yeah.
yeah, interesting. Cool. All right, I'm going to give you a chance here to tell us a little bit about your fighting company and households, and see if you can tell the same exact story that Anatole told about the wheel.
So as far as
Uh,
the
well, let's start with uh, are you in any fighting companies or households?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're called the Wheel,
Mm-hmm.
and been around for I think the year that I started is also the year that they kind of formed, and it was because across the street we have from the park. There's like baseball. I wouldn't say it's a stadium, but there's like a baseball field. It's
Mm-hmm.
got all the stuff you need for baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Keegan, Zoa, Finnegan, Anatole, they were all on the same team, doing. I wouldn't say it wasn't little league, but it was like amateur baseball. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they were all doing that, and I don't want to. They weren't so good at it. You know, they weren't the best. They weren't really making any names for themselves. Um, they would both mostly just try and hit the balls as hard as they could, which usually resulted in them not hitting them. You know, so one day after their games, they lost. Of course, they came over right across the street to Apodaca Park, and they saw Amcard going on.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Wow, this is super convenient because our baseball uniforms." They were trying to do like a medieval thing, so they just came right into it.
Yeah.
They already had the symbols and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
they recruited a couple people that they thought had the best swings over there. And well, that was a side thing. They also held like a freestyle rap battle contest too. So a couple people got in that way, even if they didn't have the best form or anything like that. I wasn't one of the first 5 people in there. I was the 6th. So after they were already established and had gave out their extra jerseys, if you will, I got invited into it, and then from there, yeah, they pretty much stopped going to their baseball games. I don't even know to the other people that were on that team, but yeah, I think that's the Spark Notes version of the
Mm-hmm.
origin story
I
for that.
I'm so angry, but I'm so happy at the same time because like I wanted to believe Anatole was just blowing smoke up my ass that it was a baseball team, but you just told the entire story almost the same exact way, like they were an actual baseball team.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think I was like 13, 14. I'm going to remember those things. Those are formative memories
Okay.
that I grew up with. All right. So,
All right.
yeah, I
Well,
mean, I couldn't tell you any other way that it happened.
that's fair. I mean,
I'd be lying.
you'd be lying. That
Yeah.
sentence is accurate somewhere in that conversation. You'd be lying somewhere.
All right.
All
All
right,
right.
all right, all right, all right. So let's dispel a myth or point of fact out. The wheel is not recruiting right now.
I wouldn't not it's not actively recruiting right now. We kind of shut down a little earlier than the actual quarantine happened. But yeah, I wouldn't say active recruiting. There have been a couple people that have expressed their interest before we kind of stopped recruiting, that are still playing. So we are like, well, all right, well, let's see. Let's throw the feelers out, see if they're still interested now that things are opening back up,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the official stance is that we're not recruiting at all. So yeah, I think that's accurate.
Okay. Well, Anatole has also reached out in the chat to declare home run. You did it, bud.
Yeah.
You did it. You're doing great. Congratulations. All right. So Shroud Star episode, 25, 27, something like that, asked this question. It's a great question, and we're going to make you answer it by hook or by crook. If you could create a letter word that doesn't already exist, what would it be for, and what would you call it?
Oh, I mean, it kind of falls into it, but if it's its own specific thing, I would make one for making very well run and delicious feasts. I feel like that would be delicious. So that is my choice.
So not a huge fan of cold barbecue served at Maze Maze?
It's fine. I'm gonna eat it, but if there was an incentive, if there was a master chef, could even make a show about it if you wanted to.
Yeah,
that would be that would probably be just off the top of my head, that would probably be my choice.
Yeah, for sure. Deverick had to walk me back off of like a really angry cliff because that meat was cold. Because we spent, what was it, 27 hours that meat was cooking?
Oh my.
And I had been like stirring it and making sure it was ready to go. And I had like timelines all set up. And then some reason the crock pot didn't stay warm when we got there. So
That's
mad.
A heartbreaker.
Yeah, so mad. But live and learn. I just won't be doing that again. So the next question is, if you could change one rule in Amcard that exists right now, what would it be and why?
Oh, jeez. That's tough. I don't even know where to start with that. One rule. Could not even battle game specific, just any rule.
Any rule. If there's a rule that you think that just needs to be changed.
All right. I do have a qualm. I don't know if it's a rule. For Viscount, the title, right? You have to, in order to qualify for it, you have to win, you have to be champion for the reign, right? And you have to specifically win the Weapon Master tournament for that reign. Change that to any tournament during the reign, kingdom-wise.
That's interesting. Okay.
That would be my rule change, because I have a personal qualm with it.
Because you're not a Viscount.
Yeah, because I only won the freaking War Masters when I was champion. So yeah, I do have. Yeah, it's a sensitive subject for me.
All right. So it sounds like you might have a goal for your Amcard career here.
Next 5 years.
Yeah,
that might be on the list.
Okay. All right. So still has a question here. And this leadership is a vague term so you can choose whoever they are. But what would you like to see out of your leadership?
Oh, gee. I don't even know. Because that people volunteering to do these things is honestly, that's good enough for me. Okay. As long as you're not like abusing the power and stuff like that. Like I had promised to do when we were talking about that. I think the other week, where I said I was going to just knight a bunch of people.
Yep.
Mostly my friends.
Yep.
As long as they're not doing stuff like that and they're, listening to people, trying to make the best judgment calls for the overall populace, that's more than enough for me.
Okay.
Thank you for even wanting to do, these specific or to fill these roles in the first place. That definitely tells me a lot about the kind of person that they are just by being wanting to do those sort of things,
For sure.
because I can't, most of the people that we had are, you mentioned it earlier, but some of the people that have the most problems with what's going on will also never go out of their way to try and run and fix the certain issues that they have. They're just gonna sit back and be like, well, this should be this way. I think, all right, well, come on in.
Yeah.
Do you wanna do the whole thing?
No.
Oh no, I'm just whatever. So it's like the fact that they're doing that in the first place, that is completely good enough for me.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Dellen has also reached out and said, yes, more food awards. I really believe that before Amtgard blows up many generations from now, Dragon is going to be so broken down that we're going to eventually get to Smiley's request of having one knighthood.
Yeah, I can see it.
Where we're just gonna be like, yeah, the food category, the art category, the garbing category, and we're just gonna have all of those be unique to the point where it's gonna be like, all right, let's take all of the categories you could possibly do something good in, just make knighthood, and then just make mastery and just
the mastery and the specific things.
Yep. Right.
And then it all kind of branches into one knighthood.
Yeah.
A knight. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. All right. So this one has sticked around. Is it sticked? This one has stuck around for a minute. English is not what I teach, so don't worry. The local kids are not being taught my English. Silhead would like to know 5 up-and-comers in Amtgard.
Oh, up-and-comers. Hold on. I think I hear my headphones about to die at some point, so the audio might get a little gross after a bit. 5 up-and-comers. It's hard because all the up-and-comers that were up-and-comers that really stuck out in my mind they're like, now they're 8th level Order of the Warriors or got their warlords and stuff like that now, especially since the standardization of it has changed. Like a lot of those up-and-comers are now warlords. But if I think about people that have not been in the game that long, geez Louise. Yeah, everybody that I'm thinking of literally got their warlord this year.
Okay.
So that's tough. Man.
Can we shout out unknown? Is that?
I mean, yeah, he's fairly close too. Just got to get a couple. But he's also, yeah, I guess he would be one. Morpheus is pretty close as well, but he's not an up, and he's been around for a bit. Same general thing with unknown as well. He's been around for a bit. People that are right there locally, because I mean, I don't know how people are now international. I haven't been to a Kingdom event.
That's fair.
In at least probably almost 2 years now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, Morgan's pretty close. You're up there. Devrick is up there. Yeah, that's my 5. Unknown, Morpheus, and you three.
Okay.
Even though Morgan's probably been playing
Yeah.
just as long as I have, but he's real close.
Yeah, Morgan, I think last time we talked, he's working on his 20th year of Amp Card.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, he's been
hard
playing
to
for a
call
minute.
that guy an up and comer.
Yeah.
But
And
he's on the cusp though.
yeah, Deverick just got past his 4 year. My 4 year is the 8th of January.
Yeah. So
And then unknown,
you know what? Since Morgan is disqualified, I will throw Rin from Albuquerque.
Yep.
He was a dag guy for right Dagger Bell.
Bell, Bell, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Rin
He's
Warbear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't imagine he's on for that long because
No.
I think that tournament was the first time that I had even ran into him, and he's from Albuquerque. So yeah, I'd throw him up there too.
Yeah.
Those are just all local peeps.
You got to get Rin and Anatole down here with with you and Dom, and Rin he'll hang. He's a really good fighter. Sammy, you did it. You're on the list. We got you there. Awesome. So, Xion, who do you look up to most in the game?
Oh, I mean, it'd be hard not to say Isaac, Anatole, because I was belted to him since I was a young buck. So yeah, I don't think anybody else would even come close to that, to be honest. I was he above all, because Wheel as a whole, they all kind of molded me and formed me in my very formative years to be, a better person and better at the game. On a side note, but he definitely, being belted to him, he kind of took me under his wing and tried to do his best to, do a good job at that. And I can't thank that guy enough for doing that.
Cool. Have I ever told you the story about him freaking me out?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. So the last GOTC we did in person, the wheel got rained out, right? And you guys had to move all your stuff up one level, and that's where my cabin was. Well, while you guys were taking care of that, they were doing awards from the tournaments and stuff. And Anatole ended up winning an award, so I had his plaque. I collected it for him, and I brought it down while you guys were getting all traded out, and hey, yeah, Anatole, you won this, and he's like, oh, cool, thanks, Chris. And I what? I don't know how he knew my first name, but I what? And I kind of walked away. I remember getting back into town and talking to Deverick about it. I'm like, people know stuff they're not supposed to. And he's like, oh, dude, what happened? What happened? And I told him, Anatole knows my first name. And he's like, that's stupid. Why would you think that's a big deal? But here we are. Yeah, it freaked me out. I didn't know what to do with it. Way to go, Isaac. You got me. Sorry, not about me, but God, if there's not enough stories to tell. Still, I would like to know, what's your thoughts on Battle Night?
I think it's pretty cool. I think it, I mean, it shouldn't, because let's be real, knighthood is, you get to wear a belt that's colors match with any garb, and also you have more responsibilities. Cool, but yeah, the emphasis on battle games has really, I think it's a cool development for sure. It definitely made me want to learn the rules more first, instead of just trying to play on expert mode, where it's just peasant single sword and going into battle games like that. Definitely made me pay attention to all the new nuances of class battle games and stuff like that. So I think it's a really cool idea, and I'm glad they did it.
Awesome. So we want to know inside of the battle knight, what does a battle master look like to you?
I mean, ideally, it would mean somebody that uses all their class abilities in correct and smart scenarios whenever that gets brought up in within the battle games. It's hard because I know that one of the requirements is to, what is it, lead a team to victory and
It,
with a
the
certain amount of people in there.
the wording of it kind of suggests that you would be leading a team, and the team side like a kingdom event, like kingdom level worth of stuff, but the group of people you're leading in that isn't really defined. It's just that it's supposed to be done at a larger, so like our
Yeah,
Shire running battle games and having a 4-on-4 probably wouldn't get us to battle master on its own.
yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, I think that's a very. I see what they were going with, but it's hard because who, if say we're on a team of 20 people, and we win, who is the leader of that? Is it the one that's yelling at people to do stuff? Or is it the person that ignores all that, does their own thing, and completes the objective?
So
You know?
I'm glad you mentioned this, because our example of that in our kingdom is Sane.
Oh
Sane
yeah.
can go by himself and just take care of an entire side of a field and wreck and whatnot.
Hmm.
And there is a level of awards in that ladder that he would be eligible for because of his fighting prowess.
Yeah, yeah,
But there's a point where you've got to look at it and go, all right, yes, you handled the whole side of the field by yourself, but it also left this gap where if someone didn't engage you right away, they could break the gap and fold your line. And is that necessarily, does that mean that your tactics aren't as good as your fighting skills, or are you constantly in that line? And I think the your Sarandel, who does a lot, will tell you a good strategy and then also will fight with the team, versus, and Charles, I'm sorry, but a Sane who will go off to the side and just maul aside because he's a good
yeah.
fighter.
Hmm.
I think that's going to be the distinction at higher levels, right? Is like, you don't have to be the one yelling, but like you your teammates are also going to be important for you to be like, yeah, hey, listen, like they came up with that strategy, it got us the game, like that guy needs to be paid attention to,
Hmm.
versus, well, I told people what to do and we won. Well, that's great, but what if your voice wasn't the one that, so I
Yeah.
think that's where it's going to end up going. And I, not to say that Charles or Cersei can't play a wicked healer or barbarian and keep himself up and keep others up, but uh, it's my experience that he is much more willing to be like, oh, I'll just go out there and crush people with my sword and board or my
Yeah.
flow, and uh, you know, just draw attention, which it has
For
its
sure.
benefits, right?
Be a somebody on the other team that people have to take care of,
Mm-hmm.
or else they're just going to mop
Right.
basically everybody on our team.
In
Yeah.
that sense, that would be the threshold where I would go, you know what? Maybe a 7 or an 8 isn't where he should be. He should be a 9 or a 10, because we have to dedicate people to him.
Hmm.
I know that, like, if he's playing healer, I'm trying to freeze him almost immediately every time.
Yeah.
And that's just what I would do. Um, but yeah, it's those higher orders. I think Dragonspine really needs to get a battle knight so we can start determining what it means from their perspective.
Yeah.
You know, um,
That would be super helpful. I mean,
it
that's
would.
the same thing as kingdoms that don't have warlord. Where's your bar? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the cause it's not really like that anymore, but I'm glad they fixed it. What if there's a person winning a bunch of tournaments, but on the national scale, they don't perform as well. Well, that really doesn't matter because what you need locally is the bar for
Mhm.
people to look and recognize and to push themselves to, if they want to outperform, you know,
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
exactly what we need in Dragonspine as far as Battle Knight goes, for sure.
Croc King, Tajima, are you listening? Find us a battle knight so that we can set the bar, please. I have a list. You've already seen it. I've already talked to you about it. Tajima. Anyways, let's talk about the questions that actually brought you here. Okay.
Okay.
Knighthood. Knighthood. Uh, how long have you been a knight?
I believe I got knighted in 2016.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Okay. And you were given Knight of the Sword.
Mhm.
You have 20 plus kingdom level wins, as you've already let us know about. You know.
I alluded to it. I didn't
Yeah.
give an actual number. I was,
Well, I'm going to assume that you're in the 20s if you were thinking about getting 30s.
yeah.
But tell us about some of the top sword knights in our game.
Currently
Yeah.
or all time?
All
Currently.
time,
Okay.
currently, however you want to handle that.
Currently, I think the top, and it once again, it's hard to know
Mhm.
what people have been working and what people have not been working through the little break in meetups that we've had. But as far as, so I'm just going to go back to pre-quarantine. I think my top 5 list, um, myself not included for sure, was, and I don't know if you can do in any order because there's a difference between tournament fighting and just
Mhm.
fighting at events and stuff like that, taking people to the side where you can fight 10 times in a row
Mhm.
or stuff like that, where that is really not possible in a tournament. um, I'd put Anatole, I would put Peter the Quick, I would put Eggman,
Mhm.
I would put Atog,
Tog. Yep. Yep.
and I believe that 5 spot or the 5th, those guys for sure. Atog, I know, because for a while I put him in the top 10, but I know he's been putting in a lot of work,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it's been showing for sure. He's been mopping up people, and so I put him in top 5, and I think the 5th, for the same reasons, really, um, would probably be Brett.
Okay.
Yeah, because they've all been, both of those. Peter the Quick is super consistent. You know, he's been he's been on the top end for pretty much as long as he's been playing our game because he was a long time Bell player. Um, so him coming in, he's been performing at the highest level for a long time. Um, but yeah, I think Brett and Atog and Eggman and Isaac were also
Okay.
top 5 right
Okay.
now, currently.
All right. And now this question may be controversial to you because we've kind of talked about this at the park and in fighters practice and stuff. But who's the best teacher of fighting?
Ah, geez, I conceptually, I don't know who teaches it best. The concepts of like what makes a shot good and all these things, but the teachers or the people that I recognize and I've listened to talk about theory and things of that nature and are able to convey it in a not in a very digestible way would
Mhm.
probably be Isaac,
Mhm.
Delos, of
Mhm.
course.
Mhm.
Brett is really good, and Raven is also really good at
Okay.
conveying or spitting out the material in ways that people are able to understand and hopefully apply the easiest.
Sure.
Whereas it takes a certain kind of vocabulary in order to get your points across. And I feel like some people they kind of rely, some teachers kind of rely on their students to have a lot of context with what they're saying,
Mhm.
and it makes it easier for them to um, get that information across. But those people kind of from the base level all the way to the top end are able to teach very well.
Okay. Yeah. So the reason why I said it was kind of controversial, because when we've talked about it, the conversation of what a knight is has come up. Not like we didn't spend like hours talking about it, but I could. It's one of the
Mhm.
things I like doing. Um, and knights as like forced teachers aren't necessarily where you stand, if I'm correct, right? Like leadership is one thing, but being forced to be a teacher isn't necessarily the same. Am I
Yeah, because
okay?
it takes a certain, like I just said, it takes a certain amount of skills and knowledge to do that, and sometimes people are just really good fighters, and
Mhm.
their information that they uh, tell people as, not necessarily the end all be all, but what they're saying is it might be a lot less beneficial to somebody
Mhm.
as um, if they were just to try and figure it out themselves. If they take their information from, let's say, me, and I do things a very specific way, and it just doesn't work for that person because they
Mhm.
don't have the same build, the same everything that I'm rocking, and they spend 2 weeks, a month trying to work on this specific shot that just doesn't work for their body type.
Mhm.
Well, that's like in the long run, that's just
Yeah.
wasted time.
Yeah.
So
I
I feel
just
like it. Yeah.
I
Go
just
on.
immediately go to me trying to do spin shots and being like,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it doesn't work, but I just want to wasted time.
Yeah.
Wasted time. Here we go. All right. Damon O'Billy would like to know what makes a good night.
uh, I would say you have to be personable for sure. Um, not too. I mean, I guess really the salt only. No, there's salt in other belt paths for sure. I was gonna say it only comes with sword, but no, you could be salty in other belt paths for sure. But just be able to hide your salt well. Poker face, um, welcoming to new people for sure. You don't want your your pillars of the local groups to be offstandish and rude to new people, complaining, stuff like that. Um, and I Yeah, other than that, there's no. I mean, the ideal. There's a lot of ideal nights that can be, um, like the cookie cutter for sure. Best examples that for a night that you can do, but nobody is going to have that type. Not a lot of people are going to have that type of personality. And if they do, or if they're able to portray that, but they're not really like that, then they're really just doing it to be a knight. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it's like I don't really want to have that kind of a standard put on everybody.
Sure.
When a lot of people would make great knights, but they're not, super extroverted and the life of the party, super nice people. That doesn't mean shouldn't be knights because of the effort that they put in and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it's hard, but a great example would be I mean, of course, Sir Randall. That's like ideal knight right there. But you
Mhm.
can't expect to have every knight in your kingdom be Sir Randall. You know,
Right. Right.
he's
It's
like max level.
yeah, the and I when I started playing, that conversation kind of took up like the first year and a half, right, of my time talking about knighthood and Dragonspine's problem with the gold standard. Gold crest
Mhm.
was the standard for knighthood, but gold crest was the pinnacle of knighthood.
Mhm.
So you were essentially saying that we were going to very rarely knight anyone, and now Dragon Spine got into a predicament 2 years ago where Sir Randall put a video together and he's like, we don't have any 7 to 10s. Well, we don't have any
Yeah.
7 to 10s because a lot of people didn't get awarded because we were holding these standards that were just unobtainable.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Sir Randall's a great example of it as long as it's not the standard. You know,
Mhm.
that he's a great knight, great person, but standardizing knighthood based around how he acts would make less and less people available for knighthood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a personality type bar that you can hold people to, which a lot of people are going to be disqualified for just because they're not like that. And then there's the effort that they put in for it.
Mhm.
And what are you going to hold as what your measurement is? Because if it's both, nights are going to be very sparse. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, if you hold one over the other more, which should probably be how much effort they're putting in and their results,
Mhm.
that makes things a lot more attainable for the vast majority, as long as they're putting that amount of effort in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Not everybody can be. I mean, we said it a couple times, but
Yeah.
not
But I mean,
everybody can be.
Dylan's pointing it out. Like it's an accessibility thing, right? Like
Mhm.
we set the bar too high, less people can be access to it. We don't the monarchies forget or miss people on awards. It makes it less likely for them to get there when they're supposed to get there with their workload. The time it takes to do these things. Sir Glenn had mentioned in a Amcard leadership video that it was taking 10 years to get knighted. Well,
Yeah,
like if your drive and goal for playing the game was like, oh man, someday I hope to get knighted, after 10 years of doing it, you're like, I don't care. I'm done. Right.
yeah,
I'll go get a different hobby. I can be a knight in like 15 different video games. I don't need to be
yeah,
one where I, burn my body out. So yeah, accessibility issue. But I think also Dragonspine got really scary for a minute there because at one point, now granted, this was during COVID and just coming out of COVID, we had 4 knights that met active standards. And we were just like, we are still one of the lowest per knight per populace kingdoms in the game. I think we were
yeah.
4th lowest or something like that. But
I believe it.
the kingdom is in a really great spot right now. Hopefully, for the next couple of years to get some new blood in there, and also award second belts to other knights if everything is done correctly. So
Mhm.
we're working on it. All right, Dame Annabelle has a 2-parter here. What is your opinion on the opening of the Paladin anti-Paladin classes, and which one are you?
Oh, I think it's fine. Though it's not like they were overpowered or any better than any other class that was available to everybody in the first place. Like they were kind of on the lower end of, as far as power goes. They were probably some of, if not the worst, too, depending on the meta that your park is playing with. And I'm not sure. I think I started with Paladin, and then once I got that leveled up, I switched to anti-Paladin, and
Okay.
then now I really don't know which one I would choose to. I mean, the obvious choice would be anti-Paladin because you get ice cream, but that didn't happen because I picked Paladin right off. I think it's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you get it every single time there's a feast and a knighting, if all the anti-paladins get hooked up.
Ooh.
If so, I mean, I got a reversible tunic. So I can it's an easy switch for
Yeah.
me.
If I remember correctly, Xander's knighting, Sir Francis brought ice cream for everyone. So
well,
yeah.
so that's
But
an easy choice then.
may I offer you the third option? And Sir Randall's never going to be okay with this. The Grey Knight. We play the middle road, and we get Santa Fe Grill burritos.
Oh, I mean, Yeah, that is an easy choice right there for sure. I'm super down with that. What's the symbol?
Oh man, I haven't got there yet. That
Okay, we'll work on it.
no
Yeah,
one's let me in the parage yet to be able to start making decisions like that. But yeah, that I got a lot of flack during COVID because I was just like, no, third option, Gray Jedi, Gray Knight. Let's we'll give Santa Fe Grill, and
mhm,
we'll be the most popular of all the knights in Dragon Spire.
easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
by
but
far.
depending on how, because I can see this just taking off into the stratosphere, and it might get pretty expensive because that's a lot of burritos.
That's a
So
lot of burritos.
yeah,
But we'll talk. We'll figure it out.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
brainstorm it.
Um, so still wanted to know, uh, who do you think of as future knights?
Uh, I mean, people that are like right there, probably about to get knighted type of stuff. That have already got all the boxes checked, stuff
All
like
the
that.
boxes checked.
As much as I hate to admit it, because they're a real piece of work. They're a real,
Oh man.
they're a real piece of
Oh,
trash.
Balder. I'm sorry that they're about
It's
to sit.
it's Balder, yes, Robbie Reyes for sure. That guy, he's put in the work though, so whatever. But
I
he
was
is just a real shyster for sure. Good lord, that guy. Um,
uh,
yeah, unapologetically
yeah.
a real, just a weasel,
Oh,
you know. But yeah, love him. He's a good guy.
yeah.
Uh,
Love them.
love him.
Okay.
He's like a Dennis the Menace type of character, you know.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he
Yes.
carries around a slingshot in his back pocket at all times too.
It-
Um, other than that, I mean, I don't want to pander, but you're right there for sure. Um, I don't I don't hate you either, like some people previously mentioned. New Knights locally, dang.
I like that you say locally because, yeah,
In
local.
Kingdom, yeah, we got a lot of candidates that have been doing a lot of stuff lately. A lot of them are already knights, and like you kind of touched on, not working on as if it's like a freaking talent tree or something like that, but they've been doing enough to be recognized for their second or third belt
Mhm.
at this point, and those they're kind of disqualified because they're already knights,
Mhm.
just for this question. But as far as new goes, yeah, y'all two are the other ones that stick out for
Okay.
sure.
Well, I'm gonna do what I do every time because it's knighthood. Kenjin, MacGyver, Balder, Stillhat. Uh, Morgan's gonna be. Oh no, here we go. Morgan's gonna have some high crowns. He's already at high orders of the warrior. You have to keep an eye on him. Um, Lilith. Uh, who else am I going through here? I'm probably missing Kriv for Battle Master.
Battle, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, like there's a list of people out there, and if there's local monarch or kingdom monarchs that need to know, like I'll talk about this for hours. I'll give you a layout. You can ask Edelsbeth about that. A year and a half of playing the game, and I thought I knew everything about knighthood, and I gave him an entire like 2 year layout of all the knights of that he could do. He's just, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good list for
I'm
sure.
that guy. Yeah. So Anatole would like to a little bit more about your combat. What would you say is your key style? And if you could describe it as an animal, what
Okay,
animal would it be?
well, he already see he's throwing me layups because he knows he already did an answer for this exact question, and we've talked about it previously, where he had an idea for it and he wants me to agree, which I do. maybe not so much anymore, but for a while there, before I kind of did a lot of footwork and moving around laterally, I would kind of just sink down. I still do it. It's a bad habit of mine, but I sink down real low and I'll spring up, and it's kind of like a cobra, you know, kind of like a little snake. So I think that's what he's hinting at there, especially with the animal comparison thing. So I think I would do that. What was the first part?
If you could tell us the key to your style.
The key, I'd say use of fakes. It's been less reliant on fakes recently and more on setting up shots and kind of picking at, which takes a while. I can't really, if I would go to an event, it would be all fakes all day because I don't have the time to sit there and analyze after week people's styles and their habits and stuff like that. But right now, it's less about faking and more about minimum effort, getting from point A to point B with the least amount of resistance, you know? And that's kind of what I would try to do. At least, you know, at our park for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as someone who fights you, as someone who fights you multiple times a week, hi, my name's Least Resistance. Just put your sword out, I'll run into it for you. It's fine. Okay. Last question before we get to the most difficult of questions. We call them the funny ones. Tell us about your belt line.
Oh, geez. What could be said about the most handsome group of individuals the 8 realms has ever bear witness to? Some have come and gone, for sure. They quit the game because, I mean, they just didn't have enough time anymore. They're too handsome. They're getting hit up on Tinder too often, you know? They simply didn't have time to practice. But the people, I got a couple now. Some might say I have too many.
Okay.
They're wrong.
Okay.
I've got my boy Bino, and so there was a bit of a merger when Potato dropped his belt. I don't know if you were there for that or saw anything like that. Potato dropped his belt a while ago. I won't go into any details about it. And he posted a Facebook status about it. And on that status in the comments, I called dibs on all of his belt rings. So I got a couple of them to come over. Not all of them. It wasn't a complete merger, but I got a couple of them to come over. One of them, thank the Lord, was Bino. He's a great guy. I got Nick, aka Banshee. He's a great guy too. He had a couple people under him that through a democratic process were promoted to being my own squires instead of his beltlings, and which caused the joke of or started the joke of, if you want to be in the belt line, first you have to be under Banshee for a year, as like sort of a hazing kind of process. But that's how I got Corvo, aka a lot of people call him Quavo from Migos. And this guy Logan, who not that active, but super solid guy. I also have Varkald. A lot of people call him Lefty Kyle, who moved. He was in Santa Fe for a while because we already have a Kyle. So, you know, so he was Lefty Kyle, who was great, super athletic dude. He's like a competition jiu-jitsu guy for the longest time. And now he does, he like teaches the jujitsu at an MMA gym. He did MMA as well. So just you can imagine, he's got the mind for it, but for a while he didn't even know how to like correctly swing a sword, but he still knew the right things to do to get you. And that's sometimes that's really all you need is the fighting mind, and he definitely had it. A lot of people have come and gone, but that's the solid group right now.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to the most difficult question, Xion. This is another breaking your traditions here on KOK, because the bare necessities are always the first questions until they weren't. Yeah. So Aqua would like to know the best Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl character for competitive play.
Okay. Yeah. See, I saw that one. And I don't play that game because it just looks really gross. But from when I did, I knew Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles busted, broken, too strong. Okay. But I've been reading up. I've been dipping my toes. I've been reading what they're gonna do with it. Shredder's coming out, also from the Ninja Turtles. I can't see in any dimension how that guy's not tip top when you got characters like SpongeBob and the cat dog. How is Shredder not gonna just shred?
That's fair. That's fair. Look what he did there. All right. Okay. So before I give you the next question, I'm going to preface this with we went to Silver City and fought in a tournament. And at that tournament, you brought your dogs with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Xion's dog's myth began. And Xion's dog currently lives with Stillhead. Xion, who's the coolest dog you've ever met?
The coolest dog I've ever met. Oh, dang. I mean, no bias, of course, but it's got to be my little dog, Murdoch.
Okay, Murdoch. All right. Now, is Murdoch Xion's dog?
Yeah.
Or is Murdoch the other dog?
Oh, that's a tough question. See, I'm gonna need a little context. I don't know.
Okay,
he's my little man.
So
yeah.
You have a dog that is brown and has a nose like a dog, and still has a dog that is brown. It has a nose like a dog. And I may have asked Stillhead when she showed me the picture of her dog for the first time why she has your dog.
Okay.
So Xion's dog lives in Las Cruces, but lives with Stillhead.
Okay, I get it. I'm caught up now.
Okay.
I think that might be the one.
Okay, all right.
I think that's All
right. Now, I'm sure we could put the dogs side by side and they look nothing alike, but
yeah.
But first thing that came to mind. So Stillhead's filling us in here. Duke Silver is tan white. How dare you telling me Dunkington this crisis? Listen, there's a similarity, and it has been foretold that Xian's dog lives in Las Cruces. That is not a false statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is true.
Okay. I'm moving on. Ryan would like to know, when did you birth a mini you?
Oh, that well, for clarification's sake, nothing. I birthed nothing.
Okay.
Nothing has ever come out of me that is worth of note. But I'm pretty sure he's talking about what I got for Christmas this year, which is a little bobblehead of me.
Hey, dang!
Wait. They even got the forehead lines right.
Whoa! Where'd you get that from?
And also, God, You see how pigeon-toed that dude is?
Yeah, that dude is pigeon-toed.
Yeah, my mom's ordered it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think Canada. This dude does custom bobbleheads. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, dang, that is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what Ryan is
Okay, all right.
referring to.
Okay. Well, still would like to know, have you been injured by Sir Xander's child like most of your park monarchy?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, he's on his way to joining the Beltline team.
Oh yeah?
He's been doing more for me in battle games than anybody else on that team has. He retrieves all my throwings just whenever. Yeah, I'll just be turned. At one point we were playing the game, and he was collecting all the game objectives.
Yep. Yes, he was. Yeah.
And I was giving him what he was about to, and then the game got called. So yeah, he's being fast tracked through the Beltline process as we speak. As far as injuries go, absolutely not. He tugs at my heartstrings every Saturday by doing very helpful stuff for me, but that's about it.
Okay. All right. Good. Xion, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Dang.
People love this
That's
question.
Tough. Three-way tie.
Oh man.
Velociraptor.
Okay.
They're sick. They got the best thumbs. Feet thumbs.
Yep.
Some call it a dew claw. They're feet thumbs.
Feet thumbs. Yeah.
Archaeopteryx. Best
Okay.
name. Sweet feathers. And then dang it, I forgot the name, but the ones with the bone head.
Oh, okay.
Headbutt a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, just headbutting people. Yeah.
Those are the three. That's my top
Okay.
top 3 S tier dinosaurs right there.
There we go. Okay. All right. What's the best kind of dragon?
Oh, dang. The best?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be one that actually has arms. It can't just be like a Dragon Ball Z type swirly little arm dragon with no legs. They look cool, like more of a serpentine type thing. I think you got to have big old wings. Dang, that's tough. Talking, absolutely not necessary. Talking dragon, very off-putting.
All right.
It kind of it kills the intimidation factor.
Sure. So typically, Xion, when we talk about best kind of dragon, people are really drawn to the color, but you want an armed and winged dragon that doesn't talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Buff arms are also a plus. Claws, of course. A dew claw.
A dew claw. Okay.
Also a plus. That's my ideal dragon. As far as color, hard to beat a classic green or a black.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard to beat. Red's cool too, but yeah, I think green or black would probably be ideal for me. This is just for me.
For you, of course. It was your question directed at you. That's Okay. How about your favorite fictional knight?
Fictional knight.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it. Favorite fictional swordsman are all dang samurais. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know if I have one. Okay. To be honest.
All right.
All I can think of is dang Rurouni Kenshin right now.
All right. Well, Zachary would like to know if you could tell us the best fictional or non-fictional sword name.
Oh, dang it. Oh, dude, I forgot. Oh, man. There was a freaking, I can't be that good if I forgot it, but Dynasty Warrior, Romance of the Three Kingdoms type situation, Dynasty Warriors. This guy had a crazy ass beard named Guan Yu, and he had a cool name for his pole. Oh man, it was so cool. I forgot it though. Also, man, Dang it. I'm never
All
gonna
right.
have it down.
It's fine. I'm sure that someone is listening and is going to just dive right into the research for you. We'll have the
Yeah.
answer before it's all said and done. All right. Next question. You've already agreed that you play Magic the Gathering. What are your colors?
Oh. There's a lot of specific builds that I like. I think the one that I like the most, or that I use the most in all of them, is black. But I really like black blue. But I also like mono black.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably my two favorite.
Okay.
Either black or black blue, which probably means it's black. You know.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. And then, Xion, what is your favorite color overall?
I think it's got to be maroon.
Maroon? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is it.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
You see a lot of maroon around you, so.
Yeah, it's convenient that I don't know which came first, you know, or if it's a little biased towards it just because of the company stuff, or if that just, you know, if it was just a coincidence. But yeah, it's got to be maroon.
Okay, cool. So this is a self-serving question. I'm gonna ask you to: is Kodiak more of a Jedi or a Sith?
I mean, I don't know if you're gonna get mad, but I would say Jedi.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Was that the right answer?
Oh, the right answer is gray Jedi, but you know,
Oh.
I gave you that lead in earlier, but you know, you weren't
Yeah.
listening to what I had to say as a person, so you picked one of the two answers. That's fine. That's fine. I've only had one person say Sith, so I'm interested to see why people keep saying Jedi, but that's fine. We can work on that. Do you play D&D?
Well, I do not. I have. I think I was in for one campaign I played through, and I had, can't even remember what class it was, but I basically made him Steven Seagal.
Okay.
That was what I was going for. Was just completely unskilled, but very dramatic, very full of himself, serious, like fake kung fu guy.
Yeah. Have you watched the documentaries on him? Like the YouTube ones? Oh my goodness. Oh man. Because I love like McDojo and like fake martial arts stuff. Like I watch those all the time, and Seagal's everywhere on those. It's so, oh God. Okay. So you've only played in one campaign, so you may not have a favorite build, except for you kind of gave us your favorite build because it's your only build, Steven Seagal. So
the Seagal archetype. Yeah.
Yeah. So you might have trouble answering this question, but you know, who knows? Why should all artificers become hexblades?
I don't know what either of those things are.
All right. Well, artificers, my favorite class. They infuse magic into weapons and items for people to use, and they're kind of like a roguish, like dungeon crawling magician.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That checks a lot of boxes. Yeah. That's a cool class.
Yeah, it's probably the best class. Yeah, I finally get to play when I'm playing one with Stillhet and Tajima and Deverick right now. So
nice.
Yeah. Okay, so one of my favorite questions in all of KOK. Amtgard is making live action movie. Who's playing Xion?
Oh, probably Dwayne.
Dwayne
the Rock Johnson. Yeah.
Okay.
Just off the top of my head.
Yeah, if I had to name one. Yeah.
The first one that came to mind. John Cena would also be a good fit, I think, accurate fit.
Yeah.
I mean, recency bias, but maybe Tobey Maguire.
Okay.
That's also a good one. Yeah, that's just off the top of my head, those three.
I want to be hurtful, but I don't. At the same time, I don't want to be. Like, what about the brother from Napoleon Dynamite? Sorry, Gia.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Oh, nope. That's fair. That's fair. Can't see it. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so when Dwayne the Rock Johnson or John Cena is coming out as Xion in the movie, what song is playing?
Oh, you're the best around. Maybe simply the best.
Okay.
Dang. Either one of those two would work.
Okay.
If it those are anything by Whitney Houston.
Oh, okay.
Dance with Somebody. Yeah. Not the one from Bodyguard though.
No,
Too outplayed.
Okay.
Overplayed.
Okay. So you have a request.
Okay.
In the chat. Dallin would like to know if you can do Tobey Maguire's crying face.
Crying face?
Yep.
Hold on. Gotta get into it. It hurts because I'm too squinty.
Yeah,
I'm just naturally a squinty guy.
Oh, Dallin, you're gonna have to let me know if that's spot on or not. But thank you.
Probably not.
And then Xander would like to point out that Mr. Bean would also be someone that you should consider for the role.
Because I wear suits all the time.
I think that's
because I'm a formal guy.
Because you're a formal guy. It's the hair part. It's the part, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's for.
Part. It's hanging on for dear life.
Yeah.
The part.
All right. We're not making a movie. We're in a different universe now. Everyone has a superpower. What's your superpower?
Oh, where's the worst? I mean, I would love time manipulation, but that's pretty overpowered. I've had a lot of conversations about this before. I think when we were talking about, because we've also had questions of what the worst superpower would be, and I believe the worst superpower would probably be, out of all the conversations we've had about it, the ability to stay dry underwater.
Pull it right out of the superhero RPG right there.
Yeah. So that would probably be what I end up with. But if I had my choice, it would be time manipulation.
The time manipulation? All right. Okay. All right. Xion, what is your favorite conspiracy? And what is your favorite Amtgard conspiracy?
Well, we touched on it before, shadow government. Yeah. That's hilarious to me. And I wish I was involved in any way. That's why in our deal for me to come on, I requested not the head spot, but a head spot in that council. Favorite conspiracy theory?
Yeah, your favorite one.
Flat Earth is hilarious.
Okay.
That is just objectively the most disprovable conspiracy theory you have. Yeah, I think that would probably be it. Flat Earth is too funny.
Stillhead's trying to suggest that you're nominating yourself for the board of directors.
Well, that's more of an official.
Oh,
okay. I'm looking for a back, behind the scenes, kind of. I can't remember what the dude from Game of Thrones. Bald guy, Game of Thrones.
Oh, Valeris?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say Valerian. I knew that was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, more of like that kind of role, pulling the strings. Nobody really knows, though. Yeah, board of directors. See, because I don't want any scrutiny.
Oh, no scrutiny. No scrutes.
Shadow is where I'm at.
Okay. All right. I'll keep it in mind. I'll talk to my people, see what we can do. I don't know why you assumed I would know how to do that, but
well, all right. All right. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah. If you want to have the discussion, no, I'm not actually belted to him. That's okay. All right. Lightning would like to know: would you rather adopt 100 duck-sized horses, or 1 horse-sized duck?
Adopt?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, just for room's sake, I'm gonna say the 1.
Okay.
It's still a lot of food, but dang. That's an unmanageable amount of feathered mass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, maybe you'll like the next question more then. Still, I would like to know, would you rather fight a duck-sized horse or a horse-sized duck?
Duck-sized horse. That's getting, I mean, for sure.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
This question is going to set the standard for Dragon's Mind for years to come. Your answer on this is very important.
All right.
Should the king be allowed to wear Crocs?
It's a lot of pressure.
I'm aware.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Damn
I'm gonna
it.
say yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, Tajima, you may maintain your unofficial title of the Croc King.
Yeah.
You've done it. But in the same vein, Xion, are birds real?
See, that's also a hilarious conspiracy that I was just reminded of.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yeah, they are, but it would be immensely more hilarious if they weren't, and they were actually government drones sent to spy on the general population.
But they're not. Yeah. Okay. All right. We've reached the food section of the funny questions. Freya would like to know, what drink is better than Mountain Dew?
Most, if not all, drinks are better than Mountain Dew. I would say.
Okay. That's gonna put a damper on the next question, but yeah. Okay. All right. Household problem here. Deverick and I are on different sides of the spectrum for this. Which Mountain Dew product is better, Code Red or Baja Blast?
Baja Blast.
You son of a bitch. Oh, okay.
Too red. Code Red is too red. I can taste the red. Baja Blast is just refreshing. Less of a weird bite than a normal Mountain Dew. So I'll drink a Baja Blast. All the other Mountain Dews are just, I can't get behind them. I'm sorry, dude.
That's fine. It's fine. Whatever. You're trying to get into the shadow government and pooping on my.
Yeah, edit it in post. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough. Sir Nikolai would like to know, what is your favorite drink?
Dang it. I like Gatorade. It's pretty good. If I had a, it's not my favorite. I mean, water is pretty unbeatable for a multitude of reasons. But if I want something other than water that is not a brew, I'll probably want a Gatorade. Pepino flavor specifically.
Okay.
That's a delicious flavor.
A pina colada Gatorade?
Pepino, dude. It's lime and cucumber.
I can't say that I may have partaken. I may have. All right. Okay. So I have a couple of either ors that you need to answer here with the food related questions. Just give me one or the other. Apple juice or orange juice?
Orange.
Hot dog. Okay. Hot dog. Is it a sandwich or a taco?
Dang it. That's probably a sandwich.
Okay. All right. Ice cream or custard?
Ooh, custard.
Good custard. Yeah. All right. Waffle or pancakes?
Pancakes.
Okay. Xion, how much is too much to spend on breakfast?
Oh, on breakfast?
Yeah.
Oh. Money wise?
Yeah.
40.
40 is too much. Okay. All right.
What's excessive?
Okay. What's your favorite thing to add to a bowl of yogurt?
probably some kind of a fruit, banana.
Banana.
But also yogurt really, because I hate oatmeal, but oatmeal's pretty good for you. So I love to, if that counts. I mean, it's really just making oatmeal more tolerable. But if you get like the honey vanilla something, not Greek yogurt, that adds too much tang to your oats. But if you get like a flavored yogurt and add that to oatmeal, makes it a lot more tolerable.
Okay. Have you tried Cheerios in your yogurt?
Ooh, no, I have not. I
So-
imagine. Does it get soggy?
I have no idea. Someone told me about it,
Okay.
and like I was just like, I still haven't tried it. I just
I have never.
okay.
I mean, granola obviously is super good in yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hard to get soggy if you get the clusters.
Mhm.
It's really
Yeah,
good.
for sure.
But
For sure. Okay. Does Tajima and Sonic deserve Sonic?
oh yeah.
Okay.
Everybody deserves Sonic. How often? Just in general?
Just in general?
Everybody deserves Sonic.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty good.
All right. Okay. So is oatmeal a soup?
Oatmeal's probably the worst possible thing that you could put in your body. And I don't like soup. But calling oatmeal a soup is a disservice to soup. Oatmeal's
Wow.
nasty.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
probably my least favorite thing.
Wow. That's a
To eat.
strong stance
To
to
eat.
have on oatmeal. Okay. All right.
I don't.
All right.
Ugh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
We're getting
Let-
started. We'll
last
be here
four-
for another 2 hours. Hear me rant about how trash oatmeal is.
Good.
The breakfast tier list.
Last 4 questions. Morgan would like to know, what is the square root of a bowl of oatmeal?
Less trash, probably. A smaller receptacle of trash.
Okay. Morgan would like to know, can you, with as much detail as possible, explain what the color of the letter F smells like?
Orange.
Orange? Okay. All right. Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Morgan would like to know, if you could meet anyone in history, who would it be and why? Is it Freddie Mercury?
Oh, that's. Yeah. Really, it would be a simple question to ask why there was the change as far as looks go. Because for a while, early on, long hair, no mustache,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I just want to know if there was ever a point in time where he had long hair before he cut the mustache, where it was long hair and the mustache, and why he chose to cut the hair and kind of not clean up the look, but switch it up so dramatically. you
Okay.
know?
All right. Okay. Last question. Let me catch my breath. If it takes a chicken and a half, a day and a half to lay an egg and a half, how long would it take a grasshopper with a wooden leg to kick the seed out of a dill pickle?
As much time as it needs.
As much time as it needs. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. If you could just bear with me, I'll do our announcements and we'll say our goodbyes.
Sounds good.
Dragon Spine, we have award recommendations up for mid-rain. We have declarations for mid-rain. You should be filling both of those out. The Coffer team has put out a anonymous questions that we're going to answer for you in a couple weeks. If you have any questions about what the Coffer team is doing currently. Let's see, what else we got going on? We have the shop open, Dragon Spine shop. I bought myself a duffel bag and a pin. I'm really excited about that because I'm going to use it for park day for all of my costume accessories. But you should go to do that. There is a team together right now working on doing some fundraising that's going to be putting together some stuff that's going to be super cool for us. But we need to make sure that we're getting our voices heard for mid-rain. Even if it's not in person, we still should have that taken care of. I think that's everything. Take the surveys. V9 team just had another survey go out. Go ahead and do those again. Let's get our voices heard on this so we can get V9 started and rolling in. Xion, do you have anything?
I got nothing.
He's got nothing, folks.
going on.
All right, fantastic. Well, Xion, again, thank you so much for coming on. It was fantastic. Oh, recommend Kodiak for his Master Crown. Already did it. Ha.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah.
Can't get rid of me. Can't. It's already there. It's already there. I'm already mastered up, y'all. All right, Xion, thank you so much for coming on today. It's again wonderful. Hopefully, we'll be seeing you in a couple weeks once we pass our January 8th restrictions.
Yeah. Hopefully, can't wait. Can't wait to get back at it.
Awesome, fantastic.
Also,
well,
yeah, anytime, dude.
yeah. And until next time, this has been Kingdom of Kodiak, and I'm Kodiak.